Story time on how I ended up having to pay back the government $3,000 in food stamps. So back in October 2021, I was fired from Starbucks, right? I got to give y'all that story too. And for the month of October and November, I was flying through my savings. So in December, one of my friends suggested, she was like, why don't you apply for food stamps? So I was real skeptical because I've never been on public assistance before. And from what I've heard, like, oh, they need all your information, whatever, whatever. But then I was like, I was looking for a job actively and nobody was calling me back. And I'm like, damn, this is about to be the second month, no income coming or whatever. Let me apply for food stamps. So I ended up doing it. And the good thing about it is the process that I went through, I just had to go through like the HRA app. And I ended up just sending them a picture of my unemployment letter because I was also denied for unemployment because of Starbucks. And once I sent that to HRA, the denial of unemployment, they approved me for food stamps. No problem. So I got my first payment in January, and they sent the letter saying that I need to recertify every year. And with every year, I have to recertify with my new income or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, all right, cool. Again, I wasn't familiar. This was my first time. I didn't know. So I ended up starting to get the food stamps in January. And then I got a job at the end of February, which is the job that I have now. So, like I said, I didn't know that I was supposed to update them that I got a job and you know what I mean? So they could alter how much they're giving me. All I knew is that they said every year I have to recertify. So I just said, next year I'm just not going to recertify because I already know that I have a job.
I'm gonna be honest. She definitely doesn't sound like she's malicious or she's trying to go about this the wrong way. She sounds like she was in a tough spot. She couldn't find work for 2 months. She was actively trying, is what she's communicating. And I feel like this is, like I said, I feel like she is not doing anything out the ordinary. And she said she wasn't that much aware. Our only thing I would push back on is she said that she wasn't sure that she had to tell them that she was employed. But like you got on it because you were unemployed and you knew that they were going to give you money for unemployment. So once you're employed, I think that is something that is like, hold up. I don't think I need this no more.
So the full year went by. And like I said, I already knew I was not going to recertify. But then they sent me a letter saying, hey, you don't have to recertify. We're going to continue paying you for the next 6 months. So I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't, like I said, again, I wasn't familiar with the process or whatever the case may be. I was just like, okay, no problem. So I continued taking the payments. So now around April 2023, they sent me a letter officially telling me like that I need to recertify or whatever. And I declined to recertify again because I already had a job and I already knew that I wasn't going to qualify. Cool, no problem. So then they sent me a letter in June telling me that because I didn't certify, they were cutting me off, granted, which I already knew. Y'all, tell me why in November 2023, they sent me a letter saying that they overpaid me $3,000 in food stamps and I have to start paying them back as soon as possible.
Mm,
I was like, what?
mm. I ain't gonna lie.
So, of course, now I.
I ain't gonna lie. She thought she was gonna get away with it because she said that she didn't try to like keep going. She didn't keep going on the food stamps after the year 2023 was up because she knew she had a job. So she basically told on herself a little bit in this situation because she knew that she probably shouldn't be on it while she was at the job. So she said she's not going to keep getting the service because she knows she doesn't need it. She knows that she's getting overpaid because the reason she got it was because she didn't have a job. So she personally, let's be real, she wanted to get away with it for the rest of the year, get that extra money off food stamps and get her job money. Now they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I seen those tax returns. We paid you too much and we're going to need that money back. And I think it's fair. And I think the government now, I ain't going to lie, now Trump being in office and really cracking down on it, a lot of people got to pay a lot of money back. And me, myself, I am a victim of this. And it's not even my fault. My mom got assistance for me when I was under the age of 18, and they tried to say they overpaid her. And so they took my tax money this year because they're trying to recoup their money back, which I filed something to try to get my money back because I'm under 18. How is it my fault? If anything, you should be coming after my mom. I'm going to keep it real with you. But I guess the government is really cracking down on anybody who got overpaid in any situation possible. And I know it's tough. I know a lot of people's not going to hear this, but they taking it out y'all checks now. They're coming for y'all job money. They're coming for y'all tax returns. They're trying to get their money back no matter what. And I guess people will have to pay up.
Got this letter and I'm so confused because I'm like, how the hell do I owe y'all $3,000 if y'all kept giving me the money? I never recertified. Y'all kept giving me the money. So now I'm pissed. So now I go to like the HRA like office in my area. They're like, oh no, you can't, you're not supposed to come here. You're supposed to go down to Pearl Street on by Brooklyn Bridge. So I went down to Pearl Street at Brooklyn Bridge, and apparently that wasn't like an office for you to talk to someone. That was just like a office building. So I went down to Pearl Street because again, I wasn't familiar with the process. They did send me a paper explaining to me that I had to start making payment plans and where I could make, it wasn't, for me, the paper wasn't clear. And I wanted to know why I had to pay back, you know? So I went down there to Pearl Street, and some ladies came down to speak to me, very nasty, very rude. And I was just like, what is going on? So when they came down, immediately one of the ladies was like, this is not a walk-in center. You're supposed to call on the phone. So I was like, okay, first of all, good morning. And I was like, second of all, I've been trying to call you guys all week. And every time I've been on the phone on hold for 3 or more plus hours. So if you guys don't want to use this as
First of all, good morning. Listen, one thing I will say is if you have a business and you are trying to protect that business, hire a ratchet woman. A ratchet, listen, let's be honest, a ratchet black woman on the hefty side. She's going to guard that money, guard that business with her life. I'm talking about some of the most mean, rude people I dealt with is customer service women that just wake up, I guess, on the wrong side of the bed every day. I don't know what it is.
a walk-in center, then try having somebody pick up the phone because people have things to do. So then she was just like, how can I help you? So I explained the situation to her, and she was like, okay. She went back upstairs. She came back down like 10 minutes later with paperwork, again, with a nasty ass attitude. And she's underlined it. She's like, is this your name? She circled my name. I said, yes. Then she flipped it over and circled my income for the previous year. And she was like, this is the income that you had last year? And I said, yes. She was like, you weren't supposed to qualify. You made way too much money. I don't even understand how you think that you qualified for food stamps. And I was like, first of all, I didn't do anything to you. So I don't know what the issue is. Please stop talking to me like that. And I was like, second of all, this was my first time using government assistance. So I I didn't know that I was supposed to let you guys know that I started working, because the initial paperwork said that you recertify every year. So I just figured, okay, if I get it for this year, next year I won't recertify. And then on top of that, I brought the letter, and then I'm like, and then you guys sent me this letter saying that I did not have to recertify. You're going to continue to pay me. So how was I supposed to know? And she was like,
I think what she's saying does make sense, but also anybody can rig the system. Then if that was the case, then January I can be out of a job and get food stamps and then wait all year while getting a job in February and just recoup all that food stamp money. So it's like, no, what she's saying is like, no, that's not how it works. But I could also see her mindset of, oh, I'm supposed to renew every year, so maybe I'll just wait till the next year. But and I'll be fair to the lady that's working too, that she's talking to. I know that job is probably a high stress job. People go in there with attitudes, ready to debate and argue, especially when you tell them like, no, you owe this money regardless, because they're going down there. If somebody tells me I owe them $3,000 and I feel like I shouldn't owe them, then yeah, I'm coming for war. So I can see it from the other side that they're probably like ready to fight back because they're used to that. But
oh, well, Yes, the minute you started working, you were supposed to record that. And I'm like, okay, well, now here we are. I'm like, so what happens now? She's like, well, you can start a payment plan of the payment plan said $19 a month to pay off my $3,000 debt. What? She was like, yeah, so just start
And most of you people out there would have took the $19 a month.
sending your $19. Attitude still nasty, right? The attitude was still nasty. So then I'm like, I'm not paying $19 for however long to pay off this debt. I'm like, I'm ready to pay you guys in full right now. Like, can I swipe my debit card? And she's like, that's when her whole attitude changed. She's like, you have $3,000? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, to pay in full right now? I'm like, yes, I'm coming to pay you guys. Like, how do we do this? So now she's looking there. And like I said, she was with another lady. So now they're both looking at me. And in my mind, I realized I'm like, oh, so they expected me to be like begging to not, like, I don't know what they expected. Let me take that back. I don't know what they expected, but they definitely judged me 100%. Because the minute I said I could pay back that $3,000 right now, their attitudes completely changed. And she was like, oh, I don't know who has $3,000 just laying around to pay back. And I was like, I do. Where do I pay you? Because now she was pissing me off. And she was like, oh, well, we can't take payments here. You have to write a check. And I was like, okay, no problem. You guys will get the check tomorrow. And then she was like, okay, is that all? And I was like, yes. And then I said to her, and I was like, you guys should do way better with your process. 100%. Because especially the second letter that you sent me, if you sent me a letter saying that I don't need to recertify, that you're going to continue to pay me, I shouldn't be liable for that, because you guys decided that you were going to continue to pay me. But it is what it is. And then I went home that same day and I sent the check.
Well, how are they going to know if you're at the job still within that year? But shout out to her. Listen, shout out to this lady. She paid it back in full. She paid it back in full. She had $3,000 saved up. Congratulations. I'm glad she ain't take that $19 payment plan that they're going to be paying off for the next 3 years, because I just hate owing people. For my people out there, try to stop owing people. Try to stay out the way. Try to get things done. Pay the people that you owe and then grow from there. So you really have some money. At the end of the day, most of you people are broke and your net worth is negative because you keep owing people, because you keep putting people on payment plans, because you keep taking financing, because you keep doing the wrong moves. Pay off everybody that you owe. Get your net worth to at least 0 and then build from there. But like I said with this lady, I don't think she did this. She went about this like the wrong way in terms of trying to scheme the system. I think congratulations for her for paying it off. Thanks for telling her story so somebody else don't get caught up with this situation. If you need food stamps for the time being, take it. As soon as you get that job and you don't need it no more, get off of it so you don't got to deal with this and you don't got people trying to collect money that you thought was yours. So hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm going to catch you on the next vid. Peace.